You're such a good boy. You're being so behaved.
Pull off and check my
Is it
map.
going to lose you,
No.
lose signal?
No, it doesn't satellite.
We started our
Is it
trek
gonna have
to
us,
Cincinnati Children's at 7 a.m.
no.
We've got our teddy ram with us, and right now we are pulled off on the side of the road because we seem to be going through the mountains instead of being on the interstate. And every time we travel out of state, we get on the interstate for the majority of the way there, and this doesn't seem to be, so we're like lost.
Cincinnati North.
And our GPSs
Head southwest on Gear Highway.
don't have good signal. Ted's drinking out of his portable water bowl that we purchased on Amazon, and they collapsed, so they're great for traveling.
You done, Bubby? You want me to pour it out? He almost drank it all.
Teddy Graham, how are you feeling about this trip, huh?
See, I think you guys stop too much and go potty. See, I've never pottied so much in my life. See, I squeezing it out even when I don't have to.
How many rest stops have we stopped at?
I don't know, because some of them
At least like 4.
Rest stops?
Well, between the McDonald's.
We've stopped at a church.
Yeah, we stopped at a church. We stopped at a McDonald's. We stopped at 2 rest areas, and now we're at another McDonald's. McDonald's is like the safest place that my parents can go into. That when they come back out, they're not going to set me off from whatever sense they've picked up. For whatever reason, McDonald's can't have real meat. I'm convinced. Because chicken is my worst food trigger, airborne. And I don't have a problem with McDonald's. And when I was able to eat McDonald's, that was my safest food. The only thing I could eat was McDonald's.
Okay, well, we got this bozo over here fixing to light one
Well,
up.
I could eat a McDonald's hamburger, ketchup only, with a small fry and a Diet Coke. And I could also eat their 4-piece chicken nuggets and their hash browns and their Egg McMuffin. And then I could also eat the Oreo Cakesters. For a while, those were very, very safe. And how that makes any sense is beyond me.
Now we gotta worry because they're smoking.
Oreo Cakesters, I don't even think they make them anymore.
I don't either think. I don't think so.
We just arrived to the hotel. Teddy Graham is beside himself with joy. Originally, we had booked a hotel called the Sonesta Suites, and from the pictures, it looked like it would be decently safe to me, and it was affordable, and it had what we were looking for. We were looking for A full-size refrigerator, and B, Teddy, why are you crying? A separate bedroom, because my dad came and he snores, and when I'm going to be having a lot of procedures done potentially, I need to get my rest, and I don't want to be up with him sawing logs. So it seemed to work out, but my mother called in advance to ensure that they did not clean with chemicals or to inquire about what they do clean with. And they had scents in the lobby, air fresheners, and one, they gave the cleaning products they normally use, and one of them was orange scented. So then they put us over to the janitor who cleans that hotel, and she was saying that she was going on to every room to try to find one that was not perfumey. And so eventually she said she was going to go ask a couple other people on their opinions on the room she chose, and that she would call us back, but she never called us back. And after I found out that they had air fresheners in the lobby, in my opinion, that was just a done deal for me. So then we had to go find a whole different hotel the night before we were due to leave. Now we are at can't even remember where we're at, but I can put it down below. It has what we need. We called in advance to ensure that they didn't have candles, air fresheners, send essential oils through the vents, because some hotels actually do that. I encountered one of those in Minnesota before, and they said that they would clean with water only in the room they knew I was going to be in, and that they would not leave the little scented soaps and lotions. They were going to try to make it as safe as possible, and so that is where I am at now. I could give you guys a tour when later. I am at Cincinnati Children's currently, seeing the bone marrow transplant team. My clinic appointment is scheduled for 5 hours, and during that 5 hours, they will decide what additional testing to run. I left the oncology, immunology. The main doctor I was supposed to see didn't even come in because she was ill and didn't want to expose patients, so they had a long talk with her prior to coming in to see me. But the other doctor that I was planning to see along with her, he was very nice. He was way better than I expected, but when you're at these big institutions, I just didn't have good expectations to begin with, so I was pleasantly surprised with him. I am being sent to a liver specialist who works closely with their immunology patients, and the goal from there is to rule out anything that's primary with the liver. But if it's immunology driven, then they won't necessarily deal with me on that much, but they just want to rule out a couple things. And then after the liver, they are trying to get me into rheumatology. They also mentioned going to GI, and like, I'm at Cincinnati Children's. It's like a world-renowned place, and me seeing GI at world-renowned places, I don't like that at all. They're always so condescending, and they like to push that it's all in your head accusations or eating disorder accusations, and I just don't have good experiences. I'm starting to flush now. We're leaving the liver guy now. He wants to order an ultrasound, and that was scheduled for 8:45 tomorrow morning. Now I have to go back to oncology to get my labs. The liver guy added more labs. He thinks that the TTC7A mutations are definitely contributing to my liver problem. And when I come back in a month or so, then potentially there will be more imaging. But he wants to go over some more of my previous imaging first that's in the system, since this was more of a last minute. I just woke up at the hotel again, and I'm so tired from yesterday. They took like 20 tubes of blood, and I have a bowel obstruction, and I don't know if I'm gonna need an x-ray. I've had obstructions enough to know when I have one or not, but it's just a matter of if it is gonna self-resolve. I know this is likely like a pseudo-obstruction and not a mechanical obstruction, so there's really nothing that can be done other than wait it out. But today I'm going to see rheumatology and get my ultrasound, my liver. And depending on that, he mentioned putting in a drain to drain the bile from my liver, because the bile is just sitting there for whatever reason. Why can't my liver move bile out? I don't know, because my ducts are normal, but he's just checking again to see if there are any structural things that could be contributing to the cholestasis. Oh, how cute. And there's a mini bench. That's my favorite. They thoroughly assessed my joints. They felt the stiffening of my joints, and so then I was sent to an ultrasound in the rheumatology department, of each of my joints. And during that ultrasound, they were putting the ultrasound over my joints and looking for effusion, which is fluid that builds up around the joints that can be present in arthritis. They found changes in both wrists, my ankles, and something kind of wonky with my fingers that they weren't certain if it was cysts or if it was true pockets of fluid. That ran into my liver ultrasound, which is where I'm leaving now. And so I had to rush over to radiology for the liver ultrasound, but because I never got to follow up with the doctor afterwards in rheumatology, I have to go back there now to discuss whatever they wanted to discuss about that ultrasound. I was seeing rheumatology for something called Still's disease, which is an adult onset arthritis that causes liver and spleen involvement, fevers that are cyclic, and it can trigger and contribute to macrophage activation syndrome. And macrophage activation syndrome is like HLH. It is in the same family, but it's a baby HLH, meaning that you have the hemophagocytosis, some cytopenias that occur when you have HLH, but to a milder severity. And when you get additionally triggered, it can turn into full-blown HLH too when you go through these crises. So it's almost like a smoldering HLH. So I'm back in rheumatology. Assessing someone for arthritis when they have EDS is challenging because while you have the stiffness and stuff occurring, it's not quite the same when you're already hypermobile. But like there have been changes, like when I do the Baton scale where you touch your thumb to your wrist and bend it down. I'm holding my camera so I can't do that, but I can't even do that anymore. There's certain fingers I can't bend straight.
I'll wait for you. I see the bookstore. This would have been really good when I was in school. You know how many essays I could have like done better? Be careful of that ladder.
It'll be okay. I told Selena I'd give him a souvenir, but I don't think there's anything in here that he's gonna be into.
Yeah, now you're at the comic books.
Okay, so we're about ready to pack up to leave, but here is the tour. As soon as you walk into the hotel, here's the living room. To the left, we have the kitchen. It is a full kitchen. That full-size refrigerator is the main reason we got this room, because I need somewhere to put my TPN. We had to bring over a week's worth of TPN, so that's 8 bags, and they're 1,500 ml bags. And then I had to bring 8 CDI bags, which my CDI bags are 700 mLs. Then I had to bring 32 bags of fluids, 5 bags of leucovorin, 10 bags of Pepsid, emergency meds, the TPN vitamins. There was just a lot, and that would all not fit into a regular sized hotel fridge. When you go to the right, when you walk in, you have the king sized room. There's a closet, the sink, and the bathroom, and the bed. There's a desk and a large TV and 2 nightstands with a little ottoman. We're going forward. There's the dining room table, the TV. Look at this, is the room with the 2 queen beds. This is where I stayed This room also has a TV. And here is the restroom. Woo. I mean, the same bathroom as before. And there is our Teddy Graham. To make the hotel safe, we also brought mattress covers. We double layered the mattress, plus the hotel came with a mattress cover. We put on a fitted sheet over that and then a non-fitted sheet, and I slept on top of the non-fitted sheet so that no allergens from the bed in the past residents of this hotel will trigger me. I brought my own pillows. Today is actually my birthday. I am 23 now. We were going to go to the aquarium before we left, but I'm worn out from all of the appointments and I don't really feel like doing anything. I'm kind of frustrated that I'm not leaving Cincinnati with a clear plan, but I do understand. My liver ultrasound came back and I have significant fibrosis. They did change my type of steroid and dose, but they didn't want to implement any other treatments right this minute immediately, because although the current consensus is that the TTC7A deficiency is probably causing the immune dysregulation, he thinks it could be a problem with the T cells, and that the immune dysregulation has led to excessive autoimmunity. Still sees an autoimmune condition, so it's still secondary to the primary problem, but because I'm having so much inflammation in my body, they need to find out, although they know the cause, what exact cytokines I'm releasing before they give a targeted medication, because they could potentially make my liver worse if they throw the wrong drug at me. So I have to come back in 2 weeks to a month once the results come in, but they're going to call as the results trickle in so that my local doctors can begin something once we have a few more answers.